This is Boxing Tickets and I in association with Violent Gentlemen. We've got the main man, Jamie Morrissey, back. Jamie Morrissey, how are you?
I'm very good, bro. As you said there, just prior to the interview, I'm enjoying some sun down here. It's a beautiful day. Things are good. I'm enjoying my training and enjoying life, you know.
And I was sort of saying off air, you look a wee bit younger. I think you said you had a shave since we last spoke. So you're what?
I don't know, man.
You feel
Maybe
like
it's just
18 or
me
19
fading.
again, do you?
Say again, brother?
You feel like you're about 18 or 19 again?
I don't know. I'm feeling fit, bro. I tell you what, like usually in the past kickboxing, I might have taken a month or two off and really unwinded and started drinking. But I took, I suppose, only a week, 4 or 5 days off. I'm the kind of fella that I need to keep moving, and the gym was the best place for me. So I've kept fit, you know. I'm ready to go again, and the body and everything feels good.
And it must just be the vibe that's sort of out there. The minute we were speaking to Kevin Cronin, that obviously fought
Mm.
in the same show as yourself earlier on.
Mm.
And he was obviously, I think he took a week off since, but he's just recharged now and wants to go again. I guess with the way boxing is in lockdown, fingers crossed coming to an end, you know it's not very long before you're back in the ring again.
Mm. That's it. Well, there's already talks with another card, Stephen, in June. You know, please God, that comes to fruition. I know we just saw a card, I think in the same location, be pulled May 1st, based on these COVID restrictions. But please God, we're coming out the other side of this now. Quite personally, I'm withered from it, man. You know what I mean? And I'm someone with a vehicle to express myself. I have fighting when I'm getting up in the morning and training. I can't imagine what these other people are going through that mightn't have identified their passion yet, or don't have something to work towards. You know, it's heartbreaking stuff. It well and truly is. I'm sick to death of it, man. But please God, we're coming out the other side of it, and I'm ready to keep nice and active, you know.
Fantastic, and that's the main thing, I guess. You know, you've obviously switched grades now, so you're not just you're not a former Muay Thai fighter now. You're actually a pro boxer as well. So it's as another box you can tick. So hopefully people will stop referring so much of obviously the switch over and now probably focus more on your boxing career.
Yeah, 100%. Muay Thai is something that I'm always going to keep close to me, Stephen. But I'm a boxer now. You know what I mean? I train with professional Muay Thai fighters on the daily. They're all kicking pads and I'm doing my thing boxing. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is now. My coach is my Muay Thai coach, Rob NG, is loving the transition. Where he's really embracing it himself. His boxing knowledge has gone through the roof in terms of boxing history and everything, and he's loving the new adventure that's been brought to the table with boxing. But it's just constant work with Sean Kelly and stuff. I'm a boxer now. Muay Thai is something that will always be with me, but it's a thing of the past in terms of fighting.
And obviously you seem to have brought the following across from the Muay Thai as well. So probably bringing new eyes. You know, obviously everybody sometimes is. With obviously the big women's fight last week, Ebony Bridges and Shannon Courtney, and Ebony
Great fight.
Bridges was bringing people into the sport because they fancied her, or you know she was good looking or things like that. But she brought new eyes into the sport. You're bringing new eyes from a combat sort of side into it as well. So you know, Limerick probably in the past, obviously your likes of Andy Lee and things like that. He was a world champion, but for a time period when he retired, there was nobody coming through. So now there's quite a lot who's coming through at the same time. Limerick's just becoming a hotbed for talent again.
Yeah, it's a golden era, Stephen, undoubtedly. Like we were talking, obviously, the week after me, you and Edward and Jason were out. You know, I thought the two of them looked brilliant. You know what I mean? Edward was up against a tough guy there. I thought he boxed brilliant. I was surprised Jason didn't stop his opponent, but the 2 wins, Jason still boxed brilliant. I'm so proud, Stephen, to be part of a golden era in Limerick boxing. And that's exactly what it is. You can see the energy we're bringing to the city in terms of the excitement. Every time I'm walking on the road, I'm getting stopped. I'm either getting asked about my next bout, I'm getting asked about this fella, that fella. I'm just really proud to be part of it. You know what I mean? And again, like I said initially when I signed the contract, I'm not here just to make up the numbers. So I'm very proud to be part of it, and I'm taking it very, very serious. That I recognise this kind of opportunity, and I'm taking it very, very serious. You know what I mean? I'm trying to improve hugely every opportunity I get, and I'm not taking it lightly what I'm part of and who I'm representing. Like, you know.
I think the probably only disappointment for Eddie and Jason was obviously not getting any coverage sort of in BT Sport. But at the end of the day, they've their debuts out of the way now. There's more people talking, and hopefully next time they're on a Frank Warren show, people can sort of see why they've been built up so well.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? This is like, it's like a lot of people saying to me, Stephen, That's going to come. People say to me, would you rather that fight gone on, my fight in Luxembourg? Absolutely not. I'm happy to get to win, pack the bags and go home. The time is going to come very soon when I'm going to be challenged, when a fella is going to really pressure me and bring the best out of me. That time is going to come and people is going to see that. So am I sad that the fight didn't go on longer? No. And that goes with the boys as well. The boys that weren't on TV this time, but people are going to see their talent sooner or later. You know what I mean? And the cream always rises. So
sometimes it's good, there's so many high profile ones sort of, in the sport now. You probably, Tommy Fury probably is a good example that no matter what he does, people's going to compare him to his brother and everything else. You've young Hatton coming through as well, where his dad was obviously world champion and everything else. Sometimes you'd like to go under the radar, whereas as a boxer at the start, you don't mind going under the radar because future opponents can't see what you're doing.
That's very true. You know what I mean? Even I heard about a different boxer in the country that she took down everything from her social media based on not letting her opponent see. So that's very true. Again, I know what's going to come. It's just about working hard, keeping the head down now, and focusing on the improvements I need to make, because you know what I mean. The time is going to come when I'm going to be challenged. It could be sooner rather than later. So I need to keep improving where I can. Right now, you need to take it as off season. I was looking for. Are you there, Stephen?
Yeah, I think it was losing you there just a wee bit.
Sorry there. As I was saying, I'm enjoying the off-season training, where I can focus on things that maybe I couldn't focus on during camp, like improving explosiveness and things like this. So it's just about improving now and taking this time really seriously,
And obviously your opponent in Luxembourg, he hadn't won in 4 years, but 14 of his 15 wins, probably stoppage as well. So, I'm sure obviously, their corner seemed to think it was an elbow and things like that, when it was a punch, it caused a cut. But, when obviously he knew that the fight wasn't going to go the distance and he started swinging for the rafters, to use the experience from your fighting game, that he's going to just come hoping that he can land that big punch. And I guess the good thing for you early on was somebody was actually coming and he was swinging for the hills, hoping to land that big punch, and you just knew you just had to ride it out a bit.
Yeah, that was it. As you said, the opponent, he hadn't won in a while. I knew that I had to be careful. His knockout ratio was quite good, you know what I mean? So I knew I had to be careful. I took him very, very seriously, Stephen. And these guys, I've seen some of his last fights on YouTube. Sometimes he simply didn't come to fight. And I could tell by his energy leading up to my fight that he was coming to fight. So I was taking him extremely seriously regardless, Stephen, as I will be with everyone. And I knew just to be smart. I have a lot more I can show people. As you said, they started calling for an elbow. He was some big shots were landing on that guy. He was going to be gone in the next couple of rounds regardless, Stephen. And as my coach funnily put it, after the fight, they obviously knew that I came from a Thai boxing background. So when that escape from the fight presented itself in between the corners, so they started screaming for that, saying it was an elbow and stuff. But they actually approached Sean Kelly after the fight and said, it was an elbow, whatever. And he said, how do you explain the other 40 lumps in your head? Which was a very fair point. The guy was gone sooner rather than later, but it is what it is. I took him extremely seriously, and I was just very, very happy to get to win, Stephen. You know what I mean? As I told you in the initial interview, boxing has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. So to go out and get the first pro win was something special for me,
And what would you sort of rate your, I know you probably be very critical of yourself and things like that in your performance, watching it back and things. What do you think of how you transitioned across? Because it's going to take you a few fights to sort of, get your feet work and things like that, right?
So how would I rate my performance out of 10, was it?
Yeah.
I'd say I was very harsh on myself initially, Stephen, right? At the end of the day, it's a first round stoppage, okay? It's a first round stoppage. So I have to take that on board. I wasn't one bit happy with a couple of times I threw my right hand and I didn't bring it quick enough. A better opponent, I didn't bring it home quick enough. A better opponent would punish you for that. A couple of times at the very, very end of the first round, that not bringing it home quick enough, he clipped me with a shot. I was very critical of myself initially. I watched the fight back a few times. Watching it back again, I handled that guy quite well. He didn't really lay a glove on me. He put the pressure on a couple of times. I turned him, but it wasn't. There was a lot to improve on. A couple of times pulling back with my hands down, you know what I mean? That was quite novice. So I was hard on myself in terms of that kind of stuff. In terms of what I can do, I'd say 6 to 7, maybe 7.5. A lot to improve on, but I got to give myself credit too as well. I put a hard work in, and I got a first round stoppage. What more do you want?
Yep, exactly. And it's like, because I know that sometimes people like to sort of be critical of their sort of performances, and obviously see for things to move. You know yourself that obviously you've been respectful for any opponent you face. It's not like somebody's just turning up to sort of take a few pound and you take a win. You went out and you had to do the work. It may take you a couple of fights to get used to, obviously, because from watching some of your clips from Muay Thai, obviously it's a lot of in close, and 6'5", you're a monster for super middleweight. So it's going to take you a few fights to sort of get going, and people swinging for the rafters with their punches to try and make up the height difference.
That's it, Stephen, 100%. And it might take a few fights, but I'm going to show people honestly, and I don't want to talk a big one, but I'm going to improve fight to fight. I know the rate at which I'm improving it. I really do. I know when I apply my mind to something, I can improve really quickly at it. And just with the passion I have for boxing at the minute, I know how quick I'm improving, and I do plan on it shocking people each fight with the improvements I make. You know what I mean? There was a lot. I look back at where I was even a year ago. And in terms of footwork, I have fight. You can't teach fight. I have a lot of fight. But my footwork, a lot of these things needed a lot of work. They still do. But I've come a long way from where I was. Graham McCormick will tell you that. Me and Graham sparred this time last year. And we have great spars today. The spar last year was a different story. I'm having great, I've improved a lot. And I intend on maintaining this rate at which I'm improving at. I know I can do that. That's where I'll shock people, is because my work ethic is quite good. I will improve at a fast rate. It's important for me to do so and show a new and improved version of me every fight.
Yep, and obviously Graham's 34th birthday tomorrow. And obviously I haven't spoken to him in a few weeks, but obviously the initial fight in America was delayed, and I think the hope now is for the start of May to sort of get out. Obviously it'd be good to get Graham back in action, because he's nearly 2 years out of the ring and stuff as well. So it just finishes everything off in the way Limerick sort of build him. Paddy's been out this year. Obviously yourself and Eddie and Jason's been out, and now it's just Graham's turn to get out and get going.
That's it. Graham's fight's going to come. I know the initial one was postponed. Again, that's the current climate we're living in. Things you can't tell what's 2 days around the corner, Stephen, really, can you? But with Graham, I suppose it's looking like May. But again, if that doesn't come true, there's fights happening all over Europe. Graham is in the best. I mean, this guy is so sharp at the minute. He really is. Sean has taken my style and molded it. He's looked at me, he said, okay, he's identified my best shots, and he's looked at my stature. As you said, I'm huge for super middleweight. I'm truly blessed to have the stature I have, because it is a weapon in itself. And then Sean has developed a style that's going to enable me to utilise that. Well, it's the same with Graham. Graham's style now is really catered towards his strengths, and he's going to show you a new fighter, definitely. Whether it's American May or whether it's wherever it is, Graham's ready. That guy's after putting down he's probably 14 weeks into camp now at this point. He's good to go, and he's going to show you a really impressive next fight. I guarantee that. The guy's he's a great chef.
It's definitely getting him back in the action, and obviously not forgetting Lee Reeves as well. He obviously was out in Mexico, was it, and fought twice in 4 days.
He was in Colombia. Lee was in Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia. I was thinking Mexico, and I thought Mexico sounds wrong. He was out in Colombia and fought twice in 4 days. He's just a machine.
That's it. Lee deserves that, man. Lee deserves just to fight. He deserves to fight. Again, this is a small old town down here, Stephen. It's a very small town, so we all know each other quite well. It's small but big, right? You still know each other. But Lee's working so hard every day. He really is. He is a true pro fighter. He's in that park. He doesn't even have a gym at the minute. He's in that park training every day, twice a day. So to see him get some of the glory he deserves was good. He does deserve it big time, And again, Lee had a little bit of a setback a couple of years ago. People, when you're the kind of kid that Lee is, talented, good looking and stuff, people like to knock you. But Lee for me is world class. He's still gonna go to the very top, and I hope he does.
Definitely, and obviously there's so much talent coming through. Obviously with your sales, either a box in Ireland or whether it's as Paddy or whoever, it's going to get to the stage where Limerick's going to have another show again, because there's so much talent coming through. It's a waste that you don't get a home show to sort of cater for everybody. Everybody's so close knit there in Limerick as well. As they need the glory days sort of back of having shows in Limerick, but I guess we just need to get the pandemic over the way first.
That's it, Stephen. This phone is acting up a little bit. Are you there, Steve?
Yeah, still here.
Phone is acting up a bit. That's it, Stephen. It has to happen, man. If you can talk to anyone, right? The toy scene is actually used up north as well. If you talk to anyone that participated in any of my coaches' shows, Robert NG's, Limerick shows and toy boxing, the atmosphere, mate, was just incredible. And I mean that, truly incredible. So it needs to happen. A boxing show down here needs to happen. Limerick people are a special breed in terms of their support. And then with the golden era that we have at the minute, we just have to utilise it. And it will happen. It will happen. It's going to happen on a smaller scale, and it's going to happen on a big scale. I do foresee that for in the next few years, because we have the talent and we have the support. It's a no-brainer. And then with people, successful, really well-spoken people like Andy Lee in the background, they're the kind of people we need to pull the strings. And I have full faith that it's going to come into place for us. And that will be something special, Stephen, definitely.
It definitely will be. As I say, obviously big shows in Ireland obviously haven't sort of, because of insurance costs and everything else haven't happened for the last few years. All the shows seem to be Belfast or in other places. So it's only right that sort of boxing does return. Places like Limerick aren't forgotten about because there's so much talent. It's been and it's sort of coming through.
Exactly, and it's important like that. If you look at the 2002 World Cup in soccer, Stephen, the impact that had on me as a young fella watching that, I became obsessed with soccer overnight. So what if a 10-year-old boy or a teenager goes to see us fight? He's going to fall in love with boxing. He's going to fall in love with pushing himself to be the best person he can be and stuff like that. So it's hugely important for the city that we can make these kind of nights happen, because they are not just one night events. That's a snowball effect into the future, and it's extremely positive. So we need to make it happen.
Definitely, and we've sort of lost one role model in the sport in Carl Frampton, obviously at the start of April. So it's now sort of striking, as they say, when the iron's hot. Not letting time pass too much without losing one legend of the sport, but we can still keep creating more legends coming through.
That's exactly it, and people will look like Carl Frampton will have created many more legends coming up the north. The guy had one of the best careers in Irish boxing history. And look at the interest he's generated in Northern Irish boxing and stuff like that. So his legacy will live on, and I guarantee you there's 5 world-class fighters that looked at Carl Frampton the whole way up as their motivation that are coming through now. So that's the way it goes.
It definitely is. And obviously you're hoping to get back out again in June, and I know you want to be kept busy. So it's just be a case of get out in June, see how that goes, then get another one. Just keep ticking them off.
Exactly, Stephen. That's the intention. I want to stay as active as possible. I'm ready. If Belgium doesn't happen in June, I want my promoters, I actually want to have a word with them in this case, just get me out anywhere, because I want to stay active. I'm working very, very hard, and I just want to stay active. I want to fight as much as possible as I can before the end of the year, and hopefully I'm in a position to challenge for something early next year. Again, I have a lot to improve on, but I am focused on those improvements every day. I just want to fight, Stephen. I really want to fight. It gave me a taste for it the last in Luxembourg. I don't take it lightly how blessed I am in this current climate to have been able to get out and fight. So I just want that feeling again to get out and fight. So hopefully this one in June comes to fruition. If it doesn't, I just want to fight anywhere.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline rush now. You've had one go at it, you're going, let's go again. And
for sure,
I think that's just going to keep, that bug's just going to be stuck with you now. It's just going to be, get me another fight. I want another name in my record. Get me another one.
That's it. And you want to show you're working on these improvements. And again, like I said the last time, you people look maybe saying, "Oh, this fella coming over from Thai boxing." I back myself. You know what I mean? I back myself. I know where my ability is at, so I want to show that as well. You know what I mean? I do. Again, lots of improvements to make, but I have lots more ability to show. And the future is good, man. I'm backing myself all day. I'm excited, and I'm living my dream. And what more can you want?
And the sunshine coming out as well is only going to make training more enjoyable as well, rather than stuck in an old sweaty gym. Be able to go out, obviously outside, and enjoy some of the sunshine, if we get any of that.
I'm telling you, Stephen, man, there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than Limerick City when the sun's out, man. Different kind of atmosphere, different kind of vibe. Gym door open, tunes blaring, people looking in the door, man. I love the city to bits, but when the sun is out, man, there's nowhere in the world I turn down any ticket, man, just to be here. That's the God honest truth.
Yep, fingers crossed. And I say it's always a way, whether it's either north or south. We get one day of sunshine and we think that's it for another year. So we have to obviously make hay when the sun shines, as they say.
This is it, bro. This is it. I'm outside. I've been outside now for the day. I have full intentions of doing it, man.
Definitely. But Jamie, look, obviously, it was sort of just more of a catch up sort of thing, just from the debut and things like that, just to they check in, I guess, and obviously see what your feelings have been like from obviously now you're a pro boxer as well.
Yeah, man. Listen, I love coming on, Stephen. Thanks a million for having me on. And let's keep it consistent. We'll do it again in the future, hopefully after the next fight.
Definitely. It's been great getting to catch up with you, and hopefully, as I say, it's not long before Leonard and Stephen are replying back to tell you you've got some fight news somewhere.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, just get me out anywhere, lads. Get me out anywhere. I just want to say a quick thank you to my sponsor, Stephen.
Yeah.
So I've Garrett Butchers up the road there, AM Enterprise, Gleason Spar, Ward's Waste, Truck Car Limited, Richie Corrigan DJ, yeah, everyone, Calvin and Paul's Garage. Thank you very, very much, because without you, I simply wouldn't be able to fight. Stephen, you know what the early chapters are like in pro boxing. I wouldn't be able to fight without you. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, and hopefully, we keep it going. I know I'm forgetting someone, Stephen.
You always do. It's you put yourself in the spot. You forget one, but I'm sure, obviously, in your sponsors that don't see it, they probably understand that, off the top of your head, sometimes it's hard to remember them all. Particularly when you've got so many obviously getting behind you, and if any people's watching obviously interview and they want to get involved, you don't have like 10 and that's it. If they want to keep coming, they can join the.
Oh, I like the way you are.
They can join the train. They can't join the dream. They can't join the G train because that's Graham. So they can join your train.
100%, bro. That's a good train of thought. That's it. If any other sponsors are interested, I'm in this for the long run. I'm working very hard. Please support me. You're going to support me in the future. Get behind me now, and all help is appreciated. So any other sponsors looking to get on board, please get in contact.
Fantastic, Jamie. Well, listen, it was good getting a catch up, and hopefully we're going to catch up again soon when you get some fight news.
For sure. A1, Stephen. You're a gent. Nice
all right, Jamie. Cheers. Take care.